What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ride or Die Canines. And today we're going to start something new here. This is going to be a Q&A response video. A lot of you guys have been sending a lot of questions in since we started this YouTube channel just a few years ago. And a lot of the questions are some of the same questions over and over and over again. And a lot of the time we get overwhelmed with working with the dogs, worrying about litters coming up, trying to have a personal life as well as our full-time job. And we don't always have the time in the day to get back to everybody individually. And it's not because we don't care about you. It's not because we don't want to respond to you or we feel like your questions aren't good enough. Sometimes there's just so much going on that we can't always get back to you. It slips our mind and we just get carried away with other stuff going on. So this is an attempt to try and make sure we get back to everybody in a timely manner. And a lot of you guys have been asking good questions. So we're going to start bringing up, starting from the top, the most common questions and work our way down in future videos. We're going to answer a few questions per video, and hopefully they fit your guys' questions or concerns when looking into Ride or Die Canines. So we're going to start off with one of the most common questions I get, and I feel like this is probably common across the board with all breeders, and it's about color. What colors do you breed? And it comes in the format of, can you get me a tri dog? Do you breed tris? Do you breed blues? Do you breed all white? Do you breed merle? Etc. And my answer to that is basically this. We've had just about, and not everyone, but we've had just about every color recognized in the major registries show up at one point or another in this program. And I'm talking, we've had entire litters of blue dogs. We've had litters where 75% of the litter is tri, and one or two of the dogs comes out completely blue. Black and white. We've had piebald tri in the same litter as a fawn tri, as a chocolate tri, as a blue tri. And all tri really means, guys, is 3 different color patterns on a dog. So when you say tri, that's a pretty open-ended statement as well, because there's so many variations of the tri. Tri just means 3. It could be any format of color patterns. We've had just about everyone pop up in this program, and the reason there's not a big consistency to the color variation is simply because even though color is a concern to a point, it is more times than not the last thing we're actually thinking about when we are matching up 2 dogs to put together. We focus our program mostly around with the top priority being temperament. We need to make sure a dog is going to be an even-tempered dog across the board. So that means we're looking at the parents from a standpoint of they don't have any dominance issues. They don't have any submissive issues. So we need a dog that isn't going to try and run the show, but we need a dog that isn't going to hide and cower in the face of just a little bit of stress that happens in just every day-to-day life, going out to the stores. You're walking through, let's say, Lowe's or Home Depot. If you have a dog that's too submissive or too fear-based, you are going to have, you're going to be walking your dog through the store. Something big is going to fall, make a big loud noise, and your dog is going to cower. We don't want that. We want a dog that is even-keeled across the board. That when a little bit of stress is induced to it, the dog might get startled, but it's going to have a quick rebound, look to you to see that everything's cool. So the second thing we look at is structure. And when I say structure, I mean the overall appearance of the dog. It has to have a nice even top line, a nice strong rear, a nice tail, a nice muzzle length. We don't like to have our muzzles too short because we don't want the dog's respiratory system to have to work any harder than it already is going to be because of what we focus on next. We will like the muzzle length to be about 35% of the length of the top skull. And that is just because we also focus on athleticism. And you can't have an athletic dog with a short snout, because then the respiratory tract's going to work double time to move that air in and out. It's going to have a harder time breathing. You start to have respiratory issues that follow that. And on top of that, what follows the respiratory is the heart. When you're having your respiratory tract work double time, the heart's going to work double time too. And at that point, you're starting to take the lifespan of the dog away little by little, which each of these small things that could come up. So these are where our priorities are at when we're matching a dog. We're worried about temperament, we're worried about structure, and we're worried about athleticism. We want our dogs, whether or not we have a breeding of pocket dogs, standard dogs, XLs, we all want them to be able to functionally do the same thing proportionate to their size. So when we do have a smaller dog, we want to make sure that the dog is still explosive, that the dog can still jump up, at least the height of a picnic table or the back of a truck bed without having to be carried around. These dogs aren't ankle biters. They're not Chihuahuas. They're not shoebox dogs. They don't. They're a very athletic dog. They come from working breeds. This dog was originated from a pit bull and a Staffordshire Terrier, depending on who you ask. We all know now at this point that there was some influence of bulldogs in the picture, which is what's made correct breeding practices so much harder. And that's what makes the bully community so much more difficult to maneuver around and make sure that problems that I just talked about aren't going to come up. So another question we get a lot is we'll get a phone call or a text that says, hey, we've been looking around and we wanted to talk to you and we wanted to kind of get your input on why should we go and get a dog from you as opposed to getting a dog from kennel A, B, C, D, whatever. If you've decided to get to the point where you pick up the phone and make that phone call in the first place, I think you've already answered your own question, and maybe just do a little self-reflection. What was it about the videos that you've seen that made you want to pick up the phone in the first place to call us? And maybe that'll help you better make that decision. We do have over 200 videos that we've posted over the last couple of years that you guys are at any point in time free to go into our channel and go look through every one of those videos and make your decision based off that. If you'd like to see anything else, we also have a Facebook group, the Ride or Die Canines LLC Facebook page. If you guys go join that, we get notifications right away. We'll add you right to it. You're free to ask any of our customers, and just about every one of them's in that group, daily posting about their dog. You're free to message any one of those people and ask them all about their personal business experience with us, and also use that as a reference to help you decide. And lastly, you are going to know, as well as me and Bobby are going to know, within the first 10 minutes of actually having a phone conversation with you, whether or not we are the kennel for you or you are a customer for us that we're willing to sell a dog to, because we are very, very, very particular about who gets dogs from us. And that leads into the next question that we get asked a lot. And that question is, how do we go about purchasing a puppy from you? Well, guys, if you've gotten to the point where you've seen our dogs, you've maybe had some contact with me through text or email or whatever it may be, and you've made your decision, you want to get a dog from us, the first thing you need to do is you need to pick up the phone and you need to call me. Like I just said before, within the first few minutes, we're going to know whether or not this is going to be a good fit, as from us being the breeders and accepting you as a potential customer and vice versa. The reason we're so particular about where our dogs go is because we have a very high standard of care when it comes to the love, the time, the attention, the training, all of that goes into owning these dogs. And if you are not willing to give us an equal or better lifestyle to the puppy coming out of here than we give to our dogs, then we are not willing to sell you a dog. That's why we don't sell to very many breeders, because most of the time when you get breeders that are interested in your dog, they're more worried about the financial side of the breeding world. And that is the last thing that's happening over here. Money, we're dumping so much money into these dogs, we'll probably never be able to make all of that back in having litters. So if you're, first off, you need to care about the dog as if it's a member of your family, the way we look at ours. So third question we get quite often, this is going to be what we finish with for this video today, is how to go about purchasing a puppy from us. So if you've made the decision, you're definitely ready to go on trying to get a puppy from us, first thing you do is you have to pick up the phone and start having a phone conversation with us. After our initial conversation, We're going to start to get to know you. You're going to start to get to know us on a more personal level. And then we're going to go about obtaining a deposit from you. That lets us know that for sure you are not wasting our time, and you can be assured as well that we're not wasting your time. So once you have made a deposit with us, the next step is weekly updates of the progress of your puppies from the day they're born until the day they go home. You know, our favorite thing to do once the litters are here and we're communicating on a more personal level with these customers is to actually pick puppies based on the customer's personality, and we like to match it for, you know, the best success. Because aside from when the puppy coming home being potty trained, crate trained, the whole 9 yards, we want it to really, really fit in based on, you know, what we've learned about you from this entire process. You know, we get the shots, we get the health certificates, we're doing the deworming, we're doing the early neurological stimulation, we're socializing, we're leash training, we're getting the ears done for you guys. A lot of this is just all happening in that first 8-week period, you know, that the dog is alive, so that when it does get to you, it is an amazing best friend that you have for years to come. And then we have you could either pick up the dog from us personally. We love it when people come here to get one-on-one, make sure it's everything they thought it was from the videos, and know that they're still happy in their decision. And it gives us a chance to actually put a face to the voice that we've been hearing over the phone. We really like to have that interaction with our customers. And we also have shipping options for those of you that can't make it all the way to Ohio to pick your puppy up. We are able to get the dog anywhere in the United States right now through ground shipping. So if distance is your concern, that is not an issue. We can get the dog to you. So I know this is just a few of the many questions that you guys have asked recently and over the last couple of years, and we will be making many more videos like this. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, let us know what you thought, ask some more questions, and if you do like this as well, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you continue to get updates every time we post one of these, as well as all of our other content that we do post. Alright guys, this has been another Ride or Die Canines production. You know how we like to do our outros. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more updates.